Hi fashion people, it's been a minute. You've seen me here now. In this video, we're going to be making a structured bra cup like what I have here, and here are my pattern pieces. And here I was trying to explain how my main fabric is bigger than the lining, basically because the caging is going to be done on the lining, and once that has been done, it's kind of like make the cup bigger. So by the time you wrap the main fabric on top, the main fabric tends to be smaller than the caged lining already. Okay, so that's why at the edges round I had extra half inch. So if my sewing allowance at the edges round is half inch, for the main fabric I make it 1 inch, except the inside part. Okay, except the inside part is still going to be half inch. So basically for the lining, half inch all around, but for the fabric, main fabric, half inch inside, and all the edges round except the top is going to be 1 inch. So here I am trying to like couple the lining with fleece, which is called wadding here, with the aid of this gluing mesh. So I'm going to use my steam iron now to press it. Okay, the wadding actually has its own glue, but it's kind of like faster to gum them together with the aid of this gluing mesh. So it just melts and glue them once and for all very fast. So here is me coupling the lining, cutting the wording based on the shape I have on my cup pieces. So you cut it exact. Now to the sewing machine, I've coupled the lower cup pieces together. Now I'm going to connect the top to it. Alright. Then I'll go ahead and stitch by half of an inch. So do note that this is the lining. I like to do my caging on the lining. Yeah, basically has to be on the lining. Then some people usually use the collar stay for their bust caging. I used to do that before as well, but I realized that it's kind of like too rigid, so I prefer to use wording instead of the um collar stay. So I stitch 2 times and trim off the excess allowance to reduce bulk, so that when we are sewing the bone it's be easy to sew. Then I'll go ahead now and press it using my pressing ball here. I made it myself. Just wrap pieces together and wrap it with Esther and press with your steam iron, you will get that ball. So it's what I used to press my cup, bra cups, and curvy area of my dresses. It's called tailor's arm. Professionally, you can get a professionally made one from people who sell sewing materials, or you get it online. But this is one I made for myself and I have been enjoying it so far. So I'm done pressing my cup. You can see how beautiful and neat it is already. Like it's given already. It's given. It's given. You can use zigzag stitches to sew your cup pieces together, or you use this method if you do not have a zigzag sewing machine. Do I do, but I just prefer to do it this way. So here uh is my girl. I've transferred the sewing to my girl here, so she has patterned the cup according to how we are going to sew the boning. So just take a closer look at how it's being done so you can do yours the same way. Make sure that your lines are not exactly at the edge of the bra cup, so that when you're sewing it to the corset it will be easy. So then you make use of your boning, half inch or quarter inch boning. I prefer the quarter inch because it's going to be easier to sew than the half-inch boning. So sewing the boning on the bra cup, make sure that the part that shoots out from the boning is facing outside, while the part that curves in is facing the wording. Okay, basically the concave part is sewn on the wording, it kisses the wording, while the convex part is outside. Okay, yeah. So you start by sewing the edges of the boning, then you sew the other edge as well. Make sure you maintain the edges so that your thread will not be cutting. You have to be very careful while sewing the boning because it's a curved part you're sewing and you're sewing something rigid on it. So it can be a bit tricky. You just have to be very patient. And Sometimes you can't just avoid your thread cutting, you know. Yeah, so that's that. You keep on doing that. The edges, you do it gently so that the curve of the bra cup is still maintained. So now you start sewing the the vertical part. For me, I like to sew the horizontal part first before the cover the edges. But my girl likes to sew the cover the edges first. So there's no specific pattern you have to follow. If you like, you can sew the horizontal part first, then sew the vertical part, and then sew the curve, whichever way is mostly convenient for you. Please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, do well to do so now. Give this video a thumbs up so that more people can see it, and do not forget to turn on post notification for all my posts or my tutorials. They are very valuable, you know that for sure. Yeah, share this video for those who might benefit from it. Going forward, the next thing you want to do to your newly structured bra cup is to flesh it out. You get pieces of stay, you layer up to like 3 to 4 layers and press it with your steam iron. Okay, it's called fleshing out. You can use fiber instead of wadding, I mean instead of stay, but I prefer to use stay. So you press it and you mold as it was done here. Then you go ahead and trim off the excess. So you keep molding to give the bra cup a rounded shape. Okay, you keep pressing with iron around the tailor's arm or the ball like that, and look at what we have right there. So pretty. So it's now ready to be covered with the main fabric. You can see what we have, very neat, very pretty. So the main fabric is being sewn now. Okay, the fabric we are working with is a crepe fabric, but there is a layer of mesh on top of it, and that's what she's doing here. So you go ahead and couple your pieces together. Okay, lower pieces first. Do not forget, let me stress this again. Your main fabric should be a little wider than the lining. Your fabric for the bra cup, for the main fabric, should be a little wider than so the you go lining. Ahead and trim off the excess seam as well, just like you did for the main fab, for the lining rather. Yeah, so there's that. So here I was telling her that this thing is not going to sit well on the structured cup, so she had to take a little away from it. It happens like that sometimes, so it can lay perfectly, and that was it. So went ahead to couple the lower pieces with the upper piece. Do not forget the notched parts so that they can align. Always notch every strategic part of your fabric when sewing for balance sake. So after stitching this part, you go ahead and trim off the excess seam as well to reduce bulk, because we're still going to also mold it with stay and we want it to be very neat, just like the lining is. Okay, so look what we have there. Now it's time to turn the upper edges with together with the lining and the fabric. So you go ahead and pin them together. So when sewing the top, I always like to add hemming gum, okay, the mesh glue as well, the smaller sizes. So I sew it together with it so that after turning and pressing with iron, the lining won't be peeping out. Okay, everything stays in place and it has a fine finishing at the top. So after that, you go ahead, don't press it yet immediately after sewing. Okay, because there could be reason for any adjustment. So it's after I'm done that we'll now go ahead to press it. So because if you press now, the hemming gum will just glue everything together. So you go ahead and pin. There was a little excess there, so I was telling her to find a way of easing it. Sometimes there could be slight issues like that, you just have a way of finding a solution, and that was what we did right there. You see at the end of the day what it looks like. So after pinning, you go ahead and stitch the base together, the base of the fabric and lining. And if there is any excess, you trim it off. So it's better you have excess than having shortage. All right, so we are now ready to fix the bra cup. Next, in the next video, we are going to be doing the whole finishing process. So do well to subscribe to this channel, turn on notification bell. I will see you in the next class. Bye.